Chi sei tu, uomo, che sei venuto a fare qua giù? Qual è lo scopo della tua vita? Dov'è la meta che devi raggiungere? Cerca di capire che cosa è utile, che cos'è dannoso e inutile, che cosa ti rende felice, che cosa ti rende infelice. Scopri la tua vera natura, analizzando tutto il tuo essere, differenziando tra ciò che è vero, escludendo tutto quanto è falso. Su questa terra inerme non sei solo acqua che scorre in basso, sei fiamma che si innalza verso l'alto, da dove proviene la tua vera natura. Dunque cerca la tua natura divina, scopri come trascendere il corpo, come azzittire la mente frenetica, come aprire l'occhio divino. Sii umile e cerca l'aiuto di un maestro, chiedi di iniziarti alla vera via per contattare la luce divina, per sintonizzarti con la voce del silenzio. Tu sarai benedetto, realizzerai te stesso, trascendendo te stesso, immergendoti nell'immenso. So, this song says, "Who are you, O man? What have you come here to do? What is the purpose of your life? What is the goal you have to reach? Try to understand what is useful, what's harmful and useless, what makes you happy, what makes you unhappy. Discover your true nature. Analyze your whole being, differentiating between what is true, discarding all that is false. On this helpless earth, you are not just water flowing downwards. You are flame raising upwards, where your luminous being comes from. Therefore, seek your divine nature. Discover how to transcend the body, how to quiet the active mind, how to open the divine eye. Be humble, seek the help of a master. Ask him to initiate you to the true path, to contact the divine light, to attune yourself with the voice of silence. You will be blessed. You will realize yourself by transcending yourself, immersing yourself in the immense. So this song, it's an invitation to self-analysis, analyzing oneself, finding out who we are. What's the purpose of our life? Why do we come on this earth? Master Kripal used to say, self-realization precedes God's realization. So we have to analyze ourselves, trying to understand who are we, what are we. So we are all so convinced that we are this body, we are so identified with it that we think we are this body. Who are you? I am this face, I am this body. Most of the people think. But this body is what we call my body. So this body belongs to somebody that is not this body. So Master says it's like a dress that you wear for a certain period and then you have to discard it. All do it, no exception. So we shouldn't be so identified with this body. We should use it for the purpose for which it has been given to us. That is God's realization. Why do we come on this earth? Why do we acquire a body? To realize God. That's the answer. To get as close as possible to this realization. So we use this body to operate in this world, and we use this body to realize God. Then if we proceed in analyzing ourselves, what's left after this body that we know? We have a thinking mind. We have senses, sensory perception. So with eyes we see, with ears we hear, with nose we smell, with tongue we have a taste, and with skin we have a touch. So that's how we come to experience life. That's how we come to understand, experience pain and joy through this sensory perception. But these are also our senses. It's not what we are. This thinking mind, it's our thinking mind. These thoughts, we say, my thoughts. I have bad thoughts, I have good thoughts. I know these thoughts. And I'm also not this sensory perception, because all my senses may stop functioning, but I will still be there. My mind may stop thinking, but I may still be alive and be conscious. So, beyond thinking mind and beyond sensory perception, we are consciousness. At the base of everything, there is consciousness. So we are an individualized consciousness. And the goal of our existence is merged with the universal consciousness. Or we are individualized souls, and we have to merge with the Supreme Soul. In India they talk so much about this Atma Paramatma, union of soul with the Supreme Soul. Union of the individualized consciousness with the ocean of consciousness. Master Kirpal used to say we are a drop of consciousness coming from the ocean of all consciousness. So that's where we have to go back. That's what we are, and that's where we have to return. It must not be just a convention. Must not be a philosophy or an ideology. It must be an experience that we have. So what is the purpose of life? Which is the goal that we have to reach. This is the purpose of life, and this is the goal that we have to reach. So what happens in this world? So many things happen in this world, good and bad. What is mostly advertised, it is what is bad. Because that's what the general mind likes. That's what makes news. The good things do not make news, do not create an interest. People like what's bad. Was painful, was suffering, killing, wars. If the news were full of peace situations everywhere, nobody would read the newspapers, nobody would read the news. But if there is war, if there is an epidemic, or everybody is every 5 minutes trying to find out something. That's how is the human mind. Clinging to what is bad, what is suffering. Life is bad, most of the people say. Very few people say life is beautiful. Life is wonderful. So we don't want to be this kind of people that focus on the bad side of things. But good people focus on the good side of life and try to focus on that. Because as we think, so we become. So let's always try to see the good side of things, because it's always there. The thing is, if we think that everything is bad, then we feel bad. If we think that there is a lot of goodness in this world, so much beauty, the creation is very beautiful because it is a manifestation of the divine. And we should try to find out this divine in everything we come in touch with, everything we see. And we should choose for our life just what is good, as much as possible, and give up what is bad. Because we don't want to suffer. What's the use? I mean, life brings by itself sufferings anyway. We shouldn't look for it. We are not stupid. There are religions that, suffering is good. To be a martyr is good. It's the ideal. Why? To live in this body and in this world is already martyrdom by itself. So we try to make it into, as much as possible, into a joyous event, pleasant event. That's to be wise. Suffer comes by itself. Joy, we have to seek for it most of the time. We have to create it. So our effort in life should be towards creating pleasant, joyful situations. And avoid as much as possible troubles. Because if we are troublesome, we will attract to our life only troublesome people. If we are compassionate, good people, then we attract in our life good people, good situations. Because that's how life goes. It's the law of sympathy. It's the law of similar attracts similar. So let's be wise in life. Let's understand that we are here to try to live as much as possible a good, happy life. But for doing so, we have to acquire a full control over our body, our senses, and our mind. We may give the blame to others, to life, to God, to everything. But the blame is ours. And it's not wise to, whenever we have any problem, to say it's the fault of the other person. It's the fault of life. It's the fault of the whole situation. It might be so. But whenever there is a problem, whenever there is a difficult situation, we have to try to learn from it. Whenever we make a mistake, we try not to repeat it, to change for the better. I know it's not easy, but we have to keep trying. Try to understand what is useful. Try to understand what's harmful and useless. What makes you happy? What makes you unhappy? And work for it. People understand that they are happy when they enjoy sensual pleasures, because that's what they know, most of the people. The only joy they know is what comes from sensual pleasures. But for that you have to pay a price all the time, always. Nothing is given for free. And when we push anything to an extreme, what we get is just the opposite. So a sober life, with no going into extremes, is the way of the wise people. Not exaggerating with anything. Midway. Discover your true nature. Analyze your whole being. Differentiate between what is true and discarding what is not true. On this helpless earth, you are not just water that flows downwards. You are a flame that goes upwards, where your true nature, divine nature, is. Master Kripa used to say, water flows downwards. A flame goes up always. Even if you upturn a candle, the flame still goes up. So that's what we are. We are not water that flows downwards. We are spirit, we are light. And the light wants to go upwards, towards the origin of light, which is God. So let's try to live a life by which we realize our solar nature, our light nature. Light is very light. Water and earth are very heavy. And if we live just for these elements, then we go downwards. But if we live or try to come in touch with the light within us, then that will pull us upwards. And the more we go upwards, the more blissful we will be, the more intoxicated we will be, the more wonderful we will feel. So we have to make an effort in this direction. Because what goes downwards, it easily goes. What goes upwards, it doesn't go easily. We have to really work for it. But this work is well paid. These efforts are well paid. There is a reward. And the reward is that we are transformed from common human beings into divine beings. From beings of darkness into beings of light. So let's choose for this. Let's try our best to turn this direction and to live such a life that allows this to happen. So let's always seek the company of good people who are working in the same direction. That will help a lot. Because when more people with the same intention, with the same direction in life come together, then there is a union of forces, and it becomes much easier to go this direction. That's why when we meditate, more of us together, we attract so much easier the divine presence than when we meditate by ourselves. It's like if you try to make a fire with a piece of wood, you won't succeed. It will be very difficult. But if you put more pieces of wood together and you try to start a fire, then it will go very easily. So that's the effect of satsang. There is a joint force that allows us to tune in with the divine presence much easier. So that's why the masters always advise us to come together, meditate together. Because this way, that descent of the divine is so much easier. Therefore, seek your divine nature. Discover how to transcend the body. How to quiet this active mind. How to open the third eye. Be humble, seek the help of a master. Ask him to initiate you to the true path, to contact the divine light, to attune yourself with the voice of silence. On this path, having a master is the greatest blessing. Maulana Rumi used to say, don't go on this path without a guide, without a master. You won't succeed, simply. Because we need somebody to start the fire. A lighted candle may light up so many other candles. If there is not a lighted candle, no other candle can be lighted. If you have a match, you can start a fire. If you don't have a match, you can start any fire. And it's a matter of transmission. Spirituality is a matter of transmission. There must be somebody that transmits it to us, that conveys it to us. It's a gift. So we have to be humble and seek the help of somebody who can help. And keep sticking to that somebody. Seek his company all your life. Always, whenever possible, meditate with that person. That will make your spiritual adventure successful. You go on an adventure, you want a guide. Spiritual quest is an adventure. Here also we want a guide. It makes everything so much easier. Moreover, the path to the divine is a path of love. And the Master is the one that loves us first. Then we love him in return. And this generates more and more this love, which may become so intense as God is. Because God, eventually, it is just love. From this, our perspective may seem difficult to accept, because so many troubles in this world, which was created by this God. But eventually, once we raise above this body, this world, this mind, then what is left is just love. On the other side, the supreme juice, what they call Amrit, it is just love. So we need somebody to love. Just like at human level, we need somebody to love. So also on our spiritual path, on our spiritual venture, we need a guide to love. And this love may become so intense as God is. So it's very good to be humble, to be patient, to keep walk on the path, to keep going without complaints, without wanting anything to be different, by doing our best and let it to the will of God. We should not just be kids all the time that want this toy, want this other toy, want this and that. We should just be content. We should just be happy with whatever God sends to us. To me, the supreme realization is this state in which you don't want anything. Even spiritually, you don't want anything. That you let it happen the way it happens. It comes whatever comes. You don't want anything anymore. Given up all wanting. What is the sign of a mature person and what is the sign of an immature person? A mature person doesn't want anything. Just happy and content with what he has. She has. An immature person keeps wanting always this and that and that. Never happy. Fed up with everything very soon. That's a child. That's not a man. So many people in this world become without becoming adults. They stay kids. So we should develop this attitude of contentment. Happy with what I have. Happy with what I've been given and I am given. Why should I have more? If God gives me this much, then I'm happy with this. So at the end the song says, you will be blessed. You will realize yourself by transcending yourself, immersing yourself in the infinite. So if we live such a life, eventually we will realize ourselves. We will be blessed. We will be blissful. We will be ecstatic. Perfectly happy with ourselves. No need for anything. And that much that we have, we really treasure it. We are really grateful for it. We are really happy with it. And don't want anything else. So let's try to be such people who do their best to uplift their life, their consciousness, to experience as much as possible this divine reality. And eventually, wherever we reach, whatever we get, we're just very happy with it. And if God wants to give us more, well and good. If He doesn't want to give us more, well and good the same. But if we keep the company of the Master, then there is never end at how much we can get. What I say is really my experience. All the many years I spent with my Master, it kept building up, always. And the last meetings I had, both with Master Kirpal and with Sanjit, they were the most wonderful meetings. But I never gave up. I associated with my Master for 25 years. And in those 25 years, I got so much grace, so many blessings, and this is the treasure of my life. The other treasure of my life is what I get associating with you, dear ones, because that's how it changed then. You love your Master so much, and then you have people that love you and you love them, and the same love is there. There is the song of Guru Nanak in which he says, those who adore and love their Master, God makes other people love and adore them. That's how it goes. So let's make up our mind to never give up, to always go on. With love, devotion, faith, happy and joyful, and above all, grateful. So, I thank my Master for first inspiring me this song, and then inspiring this satsang. I hope it was meaningful to you. I hope you feel good. And I hope you want to apply the teachings into your life.